Steve Wozniak just called your favorite AI product a fraud. Not in those exact words, but close enough to make every venture capitalist in San Francisco choke on their cold brew. In his most recent public comments this month, Wozniak doubled down on a position he has been sharpening for over a year. Current AI is not intelligent. It is statistical pattern completion dressed in a marketing budget. And the villain here is not Wozniak for saying it. The villain is every company charging you $50 a month for a system that cannot reliably count the number of R's in strawberry. OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, the whole roster. They have built a collective illusion where inference speed improvements are sold as reasoning breakthroughs, where benchmark scores on cherry-picked evaluations replace honest capability disclosure, and where anyone who questions the narrative gets labeled a doomer or a dinosaur. Wozniak is neither. He co-founded Apple. He understands hardware and architecture at a level most AI CEOs never will. When he says these systems do not understand anything, that is not nostalgia talking. That is an engineer reading the schematic and telling you the bridge will not hold. Here is what Wozniak is actually pointing at, broken into 3 pieces of technical reality that the hype machine would rather you ignore. First, the hallucination problem is not a bug. It is an architectural inevitability. Large language models generate tokens based on probability distributions learned during training. There is no internal model of truth, no fact database being consulted at inference time. When a model hallucinates a court case or invents a citation, it is doing exactly what it was designed to do, predicting the next plausible token. The industry treats hallucination as a solvable engineering problem. Wozniak, in my analysis, treats it as a fundamental limitation of the paradigm. He appears to be correct. Second, fine-tuning is being sold as customization when it is really a band-aid on a broken ontology. Companies pay tens of thousands of dollars to fine-tune a base model on their proprietary data, then act surprised when the model still drifts, still confabulates, still requires a human in the loop for anything consequential. Fine-tuning adjusts weight distributions. It does not install understanding. The difference matters when you are deploying these systems in healthcare, legal work, or financial analysis. Wozniak has specifically pointed to this gap between corporate marketing and engineering reality, and every honest ML engineer I know nods along. Third, retrieval-augmented generation, the thing everyone calls RAG like it is some kind of magic spell. RAG does not make a model smarter. It gives a model access to a search index and then asks it to synthesize results. The retrieval step is just information retrieval. The generation step is still the same probabilistic token prediction. Calling this intelligence is like calling a parrot with a library card a scholar. RAG reduces hallucinations in narrow domains, sure, but it does not produce comprehension. It produces better-sourced guesses. Wozniak's broader point, the one Silicon Valley keeps dodging, is that the word intelligence in artificial intelligence has become a marketing term, not a technical descriptor. If you are still watching, and this analysis actually resonates with you, subscribe. Because this channel exists specifically to say the things that conference keynotes and product launches are designed to bury. We are not stopping. Now here is the strongest counterargument, and I want to be fair to it. People will say Wozniak is applying biological standards of intelligence to silicon systems, that expecting comprehension from a neural network is like expecting a calculator to feel arithmetic, and that these models do not need to understand in the human sense to be transformationally useful. That is a legitimate point. GPT-class models are useful. They write code, summarize documents, accelerate workflows. Nobody credible denies that. But the counterargument collapses when you examine what is being promised versus what is being delivered. The industry is not selling productivity tools. It is selling artificial general intelligence timelines. It is selling reasoning. It is selling agents that will replace your workforce. The gap between the product and the pitch is where the lie lives, and Wozniak is standing right in that gap with a flashlight. So here is where we land. Wozniak is not a Luddite. He is an engineer who refuses to confuse scale with sapience. The models are getting bigger. The context windows are getting longer. The inference costs are getting lower, but the fundamental architecture has not changed. Attention mechanisms and transformer blocks do not produce understanding. They produce extremely convincing approximations of understanding. And until this industry stops conflating the two, every $1 billion poured into foundation models is a bet that marketing can outrun reality forever. So tell me honestly, are we building intelligence, or are we just building the most expensive autocomplete engine in human history?